class root doctor. I don't buy no other doctor in this land. I'm a first class root doctor. I don't buy no other doctor in this land.
What is up, everybody? It's your girl, Juju the Master Manifester, and I am back with another video.
So, today I'm going to get straight into it. We're going to be doing a very special video today. We're going to be getting into a very important topic within the spiritual awakening journey, okay? So, we're going to be talking about shadow work. So, I don't want to ramble on too much, but I'm going to be giving you guys some tips into starting your journey shadow work. I'm going to explain what it is from my perspective as a spiritual worker. I just want you guys to understand the importance of it, the significance of it, why we do shadow work, and why shadow work is important before jumping into any spiritual practice full-fledged. Before you start practicing any magic or before you start working with these spirits, you want to make sure that you've done your shadow work. Especially if you want to be a spiritual worker at some point, shadow work is important because you can't be reading other people's energy, but your energy isn't right. It's going to show. Okay, so when it comes to the shadow work journey, it's basically you addressing the darkest energy within yourself, that dark energy within yourself, the things that have been hidden, suppressed since childhood. That is what the shadow work journey is about. Okay, so if you haven't done your shadow work, but you're trying to tell other people what they need to do to heal or try to mentor other people, but you're not even there yet, it's just projection. Okay, so my intention for this video is to just get you guys started on the right path, going into your spiritual journey, having the right mindset, okay? Because if you have the right mindset, you can go very, very far, okay? So I'm going to literally be going through 3 books. These books are very affordable. I got all of these journals from Five and Below. I'm going to share the books with you guys as I go through them. But really quickly before I get into everything, I just wanted to let you guys know, if you want further help on your shadow work journey or on your spiritual journey in general, subscribe to my Patreon. That is where I do my mentorship. I have a group chat, so let me know if you're interested. You can send me an email through my website, www.mastermanifester888.com. And if you need any of my links as far as my Patreon, my TikTok, my YouTube, my Instagram, anything, all of that will be in my bio, okay? So without further ado, we're going to get straight into shadow work. All right, so I know I look cute, I know I look good, but this is not what the video is about, okay? This video is getting into this person here. I think it's very symbolic that my shadow is reflecting, because that is what we're discussing today. Like, that is literally the theme of what we're going to get into, okay? Because shadow work is not light energy. We're not working with that light energy. The shadow work is working with the dark energy, okay? So, what I mean by that, when you're on this spiritual journey, I'll just say from the perspective of a melanated person. If you think about the history, the significance of how things in our spiritual practices have been demonized, and how the color black and dark energy has been so demonized and so ingrained within our subconscious, we tend to think that, oh, anything dealing with shadows or anything dealing with dark energy, that is bad. No. Don't believe that shit, okay? In fact, dealing with your dark energy, healing that dark energy and learning to work with the dark energy. I'm not saying dark energy as dark entities. That's not what I mean. When I say dark energy, it's just that energy from your inner child that is just buried so deep within. Okay, so I don't want to confuse you guys, but I will give you an example. So I'm a tarot reader, so I do readings every day. Some days I take breaks because I'm tired, but when I'm doing these readings for some of my clients, lots of them are in their like 50s or just older than that, and it's just like, wow, to see how many blocked chakras and how many childhood memories have been just suppressed, and how this shit still affects people in their older ages. Um, Nothing against my older clients. It's my pleasure to help you guys get to where you need to be to ascend your energy. But what I mean is, you don't want to live your life and not be tapped into this shit, okay? You need to know what's going on, not only in the physical realm, but in the spiritual realm, okay? So I didn't want to make this video too much about rambling, but like I said, this is my shadow side right here. I think it's so crazy that my shadow is reflecting, because that is what we're going to be talking about. So something you guys will start to learn, for those of you who have mediumship in your spiritual path, and that's a part of your calling. You may be speaking to spirits on down the line. You may be tapping into spirits. You may be seeing souls. You may be reading people's energy. So, with that being said, you need to balance all 7 chakras so that you have a free flow of energy throughout your body before you can get to that level. Okay, so before you can get to a certain level spiritually, where you're becoming this master manifestor, you're becoming this person who can literally create realities with your words, with your intention, with your mind, with your energy. So before you can do all of that, you have to address this shadow self, okay? So what I will say about shadows, a scary part of shadow work, I will say, is seeing shadows. This shadow could be you. It could be a low vibrational spirit within your frequency. Could be a deceased relative, or like maybe a miscarried baby. I see this shit every day. I do the readings. The readings, like a lot of my readings are public. They're on my Instagram. So this is important. Okay, this shit is important. I wouldn't be as spiritually elevated as I am had I not taken those years to do my shadow work. Like, before you can become the master, you have to become the student, okay? A part of becoming the student is doing your shadow work. Understanding that there are people that are skilled in this and knowledgeable in this, who have went through some of the darkest places, so that they can share their light with the world. That is a spiritual gift. That's the basis of light workers and all of these different spiritual workers, okay? That's the point. You're transmuting the dark energy into light. Okay? Like I said, dark energy isn't a bad thing, but the dark energy needs to be cleared away within the body. Okay? So within the body, you have to be sure that you're doing things to release. That's the perfect word. Release. That's what we finna get into. We finna get into it. I'm finna quit rambling. I'm finna get into it. So, like I said, subscribe to my Patreon if you want the not one-on-one help, but if you want my help on um a group in a group type of setting, or if you just want to be able to contact me, whether it's via text or email, and just ask me questions, things that are important. Like if it's stuff that's on my website or on my YouTube, I'm not going to reply, because you have to do the research. You have to really, if I'm dropping gems, it's up to you to pick it up. You know what I'm saying? You got to pick it up. I can't spoon feed that shit to you, okay? And that's what it is when it comes to shadow work. Nobody's going to sit down and make you do this shit. And I'm finna get into it. I'm finna get into what some examples of shadow work prompts are, But yeah, this journey is not easy, and it's not for the weak, because when you start seeing them shadows, them shadow figures, and you don't know what the fuck it is, but you feel the frequency and you feel the energy, that's when you'll know it's time. It's time for you to sit your ass down and do your shadow work. Like I'm not playing with y'all. You gotta do your shadow work. You can't be thinking you out here doing performing any form of divination, whether it's pulling cards or using a pendulum or reading tea leaves or scrying or anything. You can't do that before you've done your shadow work. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody else says. The importance is shadow work, because you have to figure out what those triggers are within, okay? You have to figure out what it is that makes you tick, what it is that you truly think inside of your subconscious, okay? Not your conscious mind, but the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind deals with our dreams and what it plays out in the dream realm, in the spirit realm. Okay? The subconscious mind does all of that. The subconscious mind deals with those limiting beliefs. So if you believe something about your life or about yourself, that's where it plays out in the subconscious mind. That's how it plays out in the dreams. So, um, without further ado, let's just cut it. Um, Next, I'm going to show you guys the books, okay? These are all from 5 and below. Okay, so I had to take a quick incense break. I love incense. I'm burning Dragon's Blood Sage. The properties of Dragon's Blood, it really adds like a fire potency. It adds like a quickness. It heats things up. So that's really the energy of it. So I'm going to get into the books, okay? All right, so the first book. Now, I love this author. She is fucking legit. Like, I follow her on Instagram. Her, I don't know if it's her husband. I cannot remember his name, but I followed him first, and then I found her. She's kind of like, they kind of embody the same type energies, like very poetic, but it's also spiritual. Blah blah blah. Y'all ain't asked all that, but still. Okay, this book is called Today I Affirm, a journal that nurtures self-care. It's by Alexandria L. Okay, so this is the book. It's blue. You can get it from 5 and below. It's literally $5. There's no excuse why you can't get this done. Now, you don't have to use the guided journals, but I think these are excellent for newbies, because you're not going to have all of these prompts unless you have a mentor like me that's going to drop them in the Patreon. I don't know. But I actually have to do a part 2 on this video for my Patreon subbies so that I can give them, I mean, there's so many different prompts in here in this book that you can really use. And when it comes to shadow work, I'm gonna put it like this. When you first ask yourself some of these questions, these are not the type of questions that you're gonna ask and it immediately comes to you. Sometimes it will. But when it comes to shadow work, these questions are the type of questions that have to be pondered upon. They have to be meditated upon. They have to come to you when you are in a state of peace, okay? When you are in a state of stillness, okay? So I'm going to read one of the questions and I'm going to give you a sample of what your entry could be like, okay? So this is just an example. Then I'm gonna show you guys the other books as I go, okay? Just so I can stay on track. So, question number 1. And get your notebooks out. Make sure you go get your notebook. Go get your notebook. Go get you some pens, some markers. Go get your notebook, okay? All right. Question number 1. What am I at this moment? What am I at this moment? Okay? Now, this could be answered in many different ways. There's no right or wrong when it comes to shadow work. But if you're answering these questions fast as fuck, you haven't even thought about it, you haven't even asked your higher self, like, the question not only out loud, but within. Like, you have to really get into it. Like I said, this shadow self here, I love this woman, okay? I used to see this shadow as a little bitty child. That's how shadow work is. It's like you seeing yourself as a child. You really tapping into the emotions that you felt as a child so that you can conjure up that same pain, the same darkness, whether it was abuse, whether you were molested, whether you were bullied, whether you have church hurt. It doesn't matter. We all have something that we have to heal from. Okay, and the shadow work comes into play when it comes to you wanting to have kids and you can't, and you're having issues with fertility. You're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, and then you're like, oh, you come across me, and I'm like, oh, you have a blocked root chakra. Matter of fact, all your lower chakras, so your sacral, your solar plexus, and your root chakra is blocked, and you wonder why you're having infertility problems. Okay? So when it comes to those blocked chakras, the shadow work comes hand in hand. The chakra yoga, chakra journaling. These are gems I'm dropping if you're in my Patreon, if you're in my group chat. These are gems, okay? What am I in this moment? I am whole, even in the midst of struggles and hardships that feel like they can break me. I am learning that even during moments of adversity and confusion, I still have the power to my own journey and my own healing. Being ashamed of my truth isn't an option. My stories are mine. I will not be ashamed of my path or the things that threaten to shatter me. I'm stronger than my hurts. Now, do you see how that is different from answering a question in the sense of, okay, if I say, what are you in this moment? Um, I'm broke. I'm having money problems. I'm having relationship problems. Like nothing is working out for me. Like why it's always something. Why is it always me? Like not the woe is me. Not the classic woe is me. Not the classic victim mentality. That's what won't fly when it comes to shadow work. Because guess what? This is the only motherfucker that you're responsible for here. When you're doing this shadow work, it's that inner child, that person that you've been putting on the back burner. You might have had a family, you might have had kids, you might have gotten a relationship and forgot all about this person. But this person here does not go away. Doesn't matter if you're 15, it doesn't matter if you're 26, 36, or 56. This person here is within. When you avoid this person here, this person will start to show up, okay? You will see this shadow in different ways. It may be in a conversation. It may be literally you could be in a shower and you see a fucking shadow and you're like, what the fuck? This is shadow work. That is, I truly feel like I said, from a spiritual worker's perspective, I truly feel like that is a sign from spirit that's showing you this person you've been trying to hide, this person that you've been trying to bury will be heard. Whether you want them to be heard or not, this person will be heard. And matter of fact, this person has already been being heard. This is how you've been showing up in the world. You've been showing your ass. You've been putting yourself in situations that are dangerous, that are toxic. That's this shadow side. The side that may have got molested. The side that may have got groomed as a child. The side that got abandoned by their parents. This is the person that's picking your romantic partners. This is the person that is picking and running your life, okay? This person. Not this person that is whole, that is complete, that is grounded, but this person. Okay? So it took me addressing this woman here, this child, in order for me to become the woman that I am today. And I am damn proud of the woman I became today because I quit feeling bad for my motherfucking self. I quit feeling like it was always something. I quit feeling like I was ashamed that I was on this spiritual path. This is a motherfucking gift. This is a motherfucking blessing. It's my honor. It's not the other way around. Because when it comes to you wanting to work with these spirits and deal with these spirits and say you're a healer and all of this stuff, how you gonna be a healer? You won't even address this person here. The healer must first heal themselves. So how are you gonna heal somebody else or help somebody around you? You can't even help your damn self. You always helpless when it comes to yourself. When it comes to other people, you got all the motherfucking solutions. That's a problem. That's called projection. Okay? And I had to do my shadow work for years. This took years for me to even get to the place to where I am today, to where I can talk about certain things or bring up certain things or be transparent about certain things within my life because I have addressed this person. Conversations used to come up. I fall apart. I just fall apart because I couldn't handle, well, this person couldn't handle the pain because me, my physical self, wouldn't just sit down. I created a life, I created a reality that was so busy that I had no time to address this person. Okay? So I don't know who needed to hear that, but this shadow work journey is it's a blessing. Okay? I won't even say in disguise. You will have those days where you're tired, you're exhausted, but there are things for that, okay? One of the main things I will say when you're on your shadow work journey and you're going through a spiritual awakening, and you're feeling all of these spirits and entities around you, or maybe you've always felt them around you, you just didn't know what that meant. Um, Try a spiritual bath. I create handmade luxury spiritual baths. I have all different types of things for spiritual awakenings, but the spiritual baths are perfect. Not only is it a good way to purify yourself and detox yourself and cleanse yourself to keep your vibrations up to where low vibrational spirits and entities cannot even tap into you, but it's also a good means of self-love. And within my mentorship group, I always encourage self-love Sundays. So we do spiritual baths. We go out into nature. We chat. We really connect within my group. Like I make sure I check on them. I make sure I answer their questions. Either me, if I'm not there, my admin does. But I make it part of my mission because I know that this is my calling. I know that I'm a way shower and I know that I was put on this earth to show others the way. So with that being said, I had to make sure I prioritize my spiritual journey because the more I prioritize my spiritual journey and my shadow work, the more signs and synchronicities I got from God, my spirit team, my positive ancestors. Um, it takes you taking the first step. It takes you saying instead of me purchasing this, something that I just throw my money off on, I'm gonna take this $200 and I'm gonna invest in my spiritual journey. I'm gonna give me some spiritual baths. I'm gonna give me some notebooks. I'm going to get me maybe like a yoga mat or like a blanket or something so you can have something to sit on when you go outside because I always encourage getting out into nature, making that a part of your spiritual journey because when it comes down to what I practice, or if you choose to practice for my melanated people, if you choose to practice an ATR, the basis of it is the earth. Okay, we're working with herbs, we're working with oils, we're working with crystals, we're working with the elements. The elements come from the earth. The earth is so significant, okay? So that is why you have to prioritize certain things, okay? like I said, when it comes to your money, spend that on something that's going to make your spiritual journey flow smoother. The more you focus on your spiritual journey, the more money you're going to make. Yeah, it might not happen the first year, but if you go into your spiritual journey for the purpose of healing and getting your energy right and taking care of this person here, you're going to be okay. You're going to attract what needs to be attracted. You're going to be much more elevated, okay? So I hope that answered any questions that anybody may have had. I hope you guys took some notes on that aspect. I'm going to go ahead and get into a couple more prompts in this book and then move on to the next one. Love has no guarantee. All right, you guys. So this is a good one here. Now, I like all of these on this page. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to read these off for you guys, and you can write them down. You can literally pause in between and write these down, okay? Because I don't want to go off on a tangent on all of these, but I do want to make sure that this video is substantial. I want you guys to actually have practical advice moving forward, knowing where you can start. Whether you get this journal or not, you can do this on paper. Like, it doesn't cost a lot of money to start this journey, okay? All it's going to require from you is a pure heart, a pure intentions, pure self-love. And if you don't have the money for it, all you need to do is write your spirit team a letter. Let them know that you want to be on this spiritual journey. You want to heal. You want to be able to heal not only yourself, but the bloodline, your bloodline. You want the future generations to not have to just tolerate what's been accepted. You want the future generations to prosper and to be able to live a life of abundance and prosperity. Okay? So, ask Spirit to provide the means for you to do some of these spiritual things. Ask for Spirit to provide the resources, whether it be for offerings or just for you to get started. Like, that's what I love about this journey. It's like you get to shop and pour into yourself. Like, you get to go on shopping sprees and change your hair and take spiritual baths and go out in nature. Like, yeah, you might not like going outside or think you're an outside person, but I don't see how you can be on this path and not go outside or not be in tune with nature. Like, that's a huge aspect of what we do. This is like an earth-based practice, okay? So, like I said, there are different routes that you can take. But when you're on the shadow work journey or you're starting out your spiritual journey, from 6 months to I'll say 8 months to a year or so, you don't need to be committing yourself to anything. This is not Christianity, okay? You don't need to be, I mean, you can still be a Christian and do these things. I'm not saying that. But what I practice is not Christianity. So I can't sit up and tell you from the perspective of Christianity, okay? If you are coming out of Christianity, which a lot of you guys are, you're going to have to understand that with what we practice is faith-based, okay? So on this spiritual path, it's faith-based. You're going to be doing a lot of manifesting and not necessarily just manifesting, but I like to incorporate the law of attraction because we create our own realities with our thoughts and our limiting beliefs. So if you can get into law of attraction and you can start to change up your own frequency and your own vibration, that's when you get movement, okay? So y'all ain't asked for all of that, but I just want to add that in. So I'm going to read these questions off to you guys, okay? What fills me up with meaning and passion? That's a good one. In what ways do I need to shift in order to step into my higher self? That's a good one. List 5 fears that are stopping you from moving forward. That's a good one as well. I like that one because, and it has like a little box for you to write. So when it comes to like a journal that I would recommend, if you're gonna do not like a guided journal, do the 3 subject notebooks or do a binder. And then do your binder, because this is basically like grimoire, a grimoire, a book of shadows. We'll get into what that really is like later on when we do like heavier, when we tap into more heavier things. But for the sake of this video, this is very beginner friendly. Okay, so I'm not saying you have to start your grimoire now, but this is going to be like a shadow work journal. So you want to make sure you're putting in the notebook, you're printing out information about herbs, things that are good for healing, um, herbs that are good for channeling certain energies that are needed. It's different for everybody. What one person needs might not be what you need, okay? Because their journey, they may be healing from something totally different than what you're healing from. So this is not a cookie cutter thing. Like, it depends on who you're talking to, what they're going to tell you as it pertains to shadow work. Okay. So the next question is, how are you showing up for yourself? That's a good one, because how are you showing up for yourself? Like, if you say you're going to do something, do you do it? Do you follow through? When you say you're going to do something for somebody else, I bet you come through. So what are you doing for yourself? If you say that you're going to prioritize yourself, you're going to take better care of yourself, why haven't you did X, Y, and Z that you've been thinking about doing or that you have written down already? So it's little bitty things. But I will say the shadow work will bring up some of those things. Like, you'll be sitting there one day and you'll be fine. Like, you won't be sad or nothing. Then out of nowhere, you'll just be like, what the fuck? Like, you'll either remember something from your childhood or it'll start to make sense as to why you do a certain thing today, because it's deep rooted in your childhood. Like, it's still things that I'm healing from that she saw, that she went through as a child. Okay. So I know a lot of people may have had it worse or whatever, but we all have things that we have to heal from, whether it was things that were said to us or just the circumstances or whatever the case may be. Never let anybody discredit, whether it be family, whether it be friends, your partner, never let anybody discredit how you feel. And what I will say, a lot of the times we're the ones that discredit our own feelings. You know, we literally will create a life that is set up for us to come last. You know, so you have to be selfish and you have to take this time to, when you're doing your shadow work, understand this is a releasing journey. So people are going to leave your life. It's nothing you can do about that. Like, are you going to stop what you're doing as far as healing yourself just so you can keep a person in your life that's not even meant for you? Are you kidding? No, we're not doing that. So what do I need to step back from in order to see a clearer picture of what's around me? How can I relinquish control and still maintain peace over my life? I like that. How am I settling into my healing in order to make room for my growth? What am I scared of, and how is my fear causing me to stay stuck? Where can I make room for change in my life? In what ways am I lacking? What qualities do I need in a support system? I'm going to read 3 more, okay? List 10 things that fill you up. List 10 things that deplete you. I like that. I like those back to back because it shows you where your energy is going. You need to know, because a lot of people who are meant to be some type of spiritual worker or light worker, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to learn how to control your energy. And in order to control your energy, you have to know where your energy is going. Like, it might be going to something that you haven't even paid any attention to. And you're just like, why the fuck am I so tired? Because you may have talked to a certain person or hugged a certain person or been around toxic family members. And it's like you're trying to figure out why your body is drained and tired What it is just your spirit doesn't align with this person, or I'm not saying it makes the person a bad person. What it means is it's okay to be selfish and to be in your own energy. Like, I know that that is the scariest thing for a lot of people, being alone, but to me, the scariest thing is being around somebody else and feeling alone, because that is the real lonely, scary feeling. Like, for me, that's something you can't escape, because I'm alone and I'm with myself and I'm with you and I feel alone. So I might as well be alone and go through this myself. I'd rather be alone. Like they say, I could do bad by myself. Well, I could do good by myself. I can do damn good by myself. Like, I'm not even gonna speak any negativity over my life. Like, the way that you speak about yourself and your situation, it has to change, because you're the only person keeping yourself in that vibration. Okay? So, in what ways can I set boundaries that protect me from being drained emotionally? See? So, again, that's literally what I was just talking about. Excuse me, guys, my nose is running. I don't know what's going on. But sometimes you'll learn that the people that are draining you are the people that um you may have, these may be the closest people to you. But what is your body? How does your body respond? How does your energy, how does your um spirit respond to this person's energy? Okay? So in order for you to be tuned in and tapped into yourself like that, you have to be sure that you're okay with being by yourself, because being by yourself is being in your own frequency. When you know what your own energy feels like, then you will know if somebody else is throwing that shit off. You will know immediately, because you will feel it. That is literally reading energy. You'll learn to read energy. You'll learn to read people before you even put yourself in that situation. You'll learn to you don't always have to say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna come hang out. I'm gonna come." You don't always have to be in the fucking mix. Like, you don't have to always be in the mix, because sometimes it be them people that you hold on to that's keeping you in a low vibration. If you are not okay with being in your own energy, you will not know. And this is a good one, because you won't even know when a spirit is present. That's so important. Like, if you're gonna be on a journey, you're working with spirits, you don't even fucking know when a spirit is in your presence. You don't even know when a negative spirit is in your presence. You just think you can't sleep. You just think you have insomnia. You ain't thinking about the fact that it's literally probably a spirit sitting right there with you that's low vibrational. Not saying evil, but low vibrational. Like, low vibrational spirit, that doesn't mean that was an evil person. It could have been somebody that committed suicide. That's in your frequency. It could be a family member. Um, that maybe killed themselves. Now they're in your fucking frequency, in your space. You ain't cleaned your room in 3 months. You're depressed. You're anxious. And this spirit is in your frequency telling you to kill yourself. So this is why this shit is not a game. I had to address her so I could do what I do to this day. I had to address her before I could be Juju the Master Manifester. You know, you cannot skip steps. This is step number one. And I can always tell when somebody have done their shadow work, because the way that they show up, the way that they present themselves, the way that they um the things that they care about and the things that they value, the way that they address themselves, the way that they talk to themselves, that tells me right there when a person has done their shadow work and when they have not. Okay. I don't know how many of y'all have seen Iyanla Fix My Life, but if you have not seen that show, I just want to let y'all know that my soror, she is top tier, and she is actually an E5 priestess, for those of you who don't know. So when she's talking about, this is Iyanla, and I am here to help you do your work, honey, she is talking about shadow work. Okay. So for those of you who did not know, And there are also several other celebrities who practice Ifa, which is an African spiritual practice. Okay. So 21 Savage, he actually practices Ifa, and you'll hear it like in his music. He says it all the time, like and in the interviews as well. Like, he's vocal about the fact that he works with his ancestors. He's vocal about the fact that he don't fuck with nobody, but if somebody come fucking with him, he got something for him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a different mindset when it comes to spirituality versus Christianity. Christianity, there are certain stigmas, there are certain rules, there are certain regulations. So if you're a part of Christianity, you have to follow that shit. If you're a Christian, you have to follow that shit. If you know that the beliefs don't serve you and who you are and who you're becoming, you'll know because you'll feel it. Nobody can tell you this if this is for you or if it's not, but you will know by how it feels to you. Okay? So, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but this was Today I Affirm by Alex L. I don't know if it's Ellie or L. It's ELLE. Okay. So the next book that I have is actually Notes to Self. This is a journal for self-care by Lisa Curie. Just take a moment to get it out of your head and onto the paper. So I'm glad that I actually read that, because what's funny is people always ask me, like, do I have to journal? Do I have to write it down? Deep Negro spiritual sigh. Because it's like, how do you expect to get all of the anxiety and all of the lack and the fear, how do you expect to get it out of your body? It's been there since childhood. You know, it's in the things that our grandparents say, it's in the things that our older family members say and ingrain in us. Um, like, for instance, a lot of Black women, we experience our aunts and grannies and all of this stuff always talking about our weights. Or every time you see them, it's always something about your weight and how you done picked up some pounds or something like that. And it's just like, you're not a feather. You're not a feather, sweetie. So, so what's tea? Like, but the thing is that sticks with us because a lot of us have heard it since childhood. So if you don't know who you are and you're still living in this frequency of this child, or your shadow self, you haven't even addressed it. It's not to say it's controlling your life. You might not even think it's bothering you or it has anything to do with how you act or how you, like, how your confidence is, but it does. If it doesn't matter, then why can't you write it down? If it doesn't matter, why are you avoiding it? You have to write it down on paper and get it out, okay? If not for you, do it for her. Do it for him. Do it for your damn self, you know? You got to do it for yourself, because let me say something, your parents, if they didn't fix it then, they ain't going to fix it now. So get it out on paper, whether it's just journaling or you just doing your shadow work. There's a difference. Journaling, that's just you journaling about what's going on, what you're feeling or whatever. But shadow work is using specific questions. You can find like shadow work questions online, like, but I wanted to do a video about this because it's so important. And a lot of people want to hear it from my perspective and from the perspective of a spiritual worker who practices ATR and who is into more of like holistic healing. Okay. So I know that my perspective is going to be a little bit different. Like when I first started going through my shadow work journey, I watched a young lady and she was Caucasian, but her experience was different, but it was still valid. Like, she was explaining how the first time she saw her shadow self and it scared her because she literally saw a shadow. And it was terrifying. And I got so scared. I was like, oh my God. I used to be so scared, like when I first started into some of my heavier stuff. I used to be so fucking scared. I'm just like, I can't face this. I can't face this. But it's like, you can. You can and you will. And you have no fucking choice. Like, I'm sorry to cuss. I don't mean to keep cussing, but you have no other option, okay? It's a reason why you're on this path. It's a reason why you came across this video. It's a reason why you subscribed to my channel. It's a reason why you're within the frequency to even come across this video, because shadow work is not something that is widely discussed, okay? Especially not within the Black community. Clear, like, and I'm gonna say we need it the most, because the generational and the ancestral trauma runs so deep. Okay, it runs so deep. So we definitely have to do this, not only to elevate ourselves, but to elevate the frequency of our future generations. Okay, as y'all can see, your girl can talk. Okay, so give me just a second, and I'm gonna come back with a couple of these prompts for you guys to try. I like this one because it's like visual. Okay, so give me just a second. Okay, so this is a good one. So this is a to-do list that you've been putting off and feeling some anxiety or fear around. Okay, this is what it looks like. It's like a little caution in each corner. There are questions that come with it. I move my incense here. But there are some questions that come with it. So I would say that this would be a good prompt for people who are like entrepreneurs, people who, like myself, you know, if you want to eat, you got to get up off your butt. You know, if you want to make something happen, you got to make it happen. It's nobody that's coming to do it for you. You know what I'm saying? So this is for the people who have to get it done. What is the benefit of getting it done? What is stopping you from doing it? What are the first steps that I could take? And then do 3 bullets. So on the last question, do 3 bullets, and then do 3 bullets of what these are the practical steps that you can take in order to make that happen. Okay? All right, this is another good one. What might I be in need of? Okay, so do 2 separate lists. So do like a T-chart. One side is for my body, the other side is for my mind. Okay, so we're doing a clear distinction between for your body. What does your body need? Okay, so an example of this, what I would say, my body needs fresh air. I crave fresh air. Like, I cannot go without fresh air. Well, it's 111. But I can't go without fresh air. I just cannot do it. Like, I cannot go without sitting on the ground. Like, I need that grounding, you know? So it's like crazy how the more spiritual I become, the more I'm in nature. I've always been a huge nature person. Ever since my childhood. I grew up fishing and going camping and things like that. So it's nothing new for me to be outside. But at the same time, like, as an adult, I don't have to continue going. You know, it's something that I have to actually pencil out time throughout my day. Like, when I'm taking breaks from work or whatever the case may be, sometimes I'll go for a walk. I'll have to go outside. It's essential. You know, we need that fresh air to replenish us. Okay. So what I would put for my mind, what might I be in need of for my mind? Meditation, Chakra Yoga. For my mind, journaling. I would say journaling because I've already spoke to you guys about the journaling. But what's your mind? If you're having a lot of anxiety or fear, I promise you, sometimes all it takes is you just writing it out on paper and saying, and putting a name to the feeling, putting words to the feeling, putting it on paper. You be like, well, that's kind of silly. Like, I'm sitting over here feeling fearful because of this, or because I know this person's gonna call me, or because, like, if you don't block them folks and go on about your day, like, we really live in fear over the simplest things. Another one too is sometimes, so like for the mind, another one too can be social media. So I really limit, when it comes to my social media, I limit what I see. I don't follow just anybody, because me personally, I know that I use social media to promote for my business. So with that being said, I don't want to just feel like a slave to my business. I hate that shit. Like, I never want to be a slave to what I'm doing. Like, anything that I do it's out the kindness of my heart. It's because it's genuinely what I want to do. I don't ever want to feel obligated, and I never will feel obligated to what I do. Okay. So for the sake of my mind, sometimes I will take social media breaks. Sometimes I don't get on as much as I normally would, and that's okay. If you work in social media or you have to be online for your job, what I'll say is work smarter, not harder. Maybe do all your content on one day and then post, schedule your post or whatever, like on Hootsuite or something like that. Um, and just do it like that so you don't have to be so hands on with it. Um, that's something that's helped me as well. Okay, so just a little tip there. Okay, so this is another one out of this book, Notes to Self. So the note says, sit still, breathe, and be quiet. Okay, I'm going to read to you what the other side says. When was the last time I allowed myself a few minutes of the day to do a sweet nothing? Like that. No phone, no to-do list, no reading material, no agenda. Just looking up at the sky or staring out a window. How long until I feel the itch to get back online or back to my busyness? Can I hold out for 5 minutes? Can I hold out for 10? So just taking those moments for yourself, I promise you, like, it adds up. Like, it matters. You'll see on this spiritual journey, you won't get action until you move. You have to literally take those steps. And this next book here has a lot of visuals in it that I love. And I really want to show you guys. I feel like it's perfect for newbies. It's kind of like a cartoon. So I think that that's always relatable because, looking at the self like a cartoon or like a child, it's always good because it puts you in the mindset that you need to be in. Okay. So, all right. So these are a couple prompts. Moments when my body feels expressive and playful. My cat, he ready to show out. Mister, sit down. Sit down. You don't listen. You don't listen to nobody. Sit down. Anyways, moments when my body feels expressive and playful. Moments when my body feels strong and capable. Moments when my body feels giddy and euphoric. What could I do today that the future me will be thankful for? I like how this book it draws the things out so it puts you in the mind of, like, when you look at it, it doesn't feel like a shadow work prompt or like a prompt. It feels like a coloring book or something like that. I love the simplicity of these journals from Five and Below. Like, they're top tier. I'm even thinking about getting some for my store, and just having them there because a lot of people don't have access to Five and Below. Oh, this is a good one. So this will be the last one that I'll do for this book, okay? And I'm going to make this quick because I don't want this video to be extremely long, but I know that it's essential. And I know that it's much needed, okay? So this is called Ask Your Body. So this is one of the oblique strategies by Brian Eno and Peter Schmott. Does my body want to retreat to the couch, or is that what my mind wants to do? If I listen to what my body is trying to tell me, since my mind is normally the one calling the shots, is it asking for a gentle stretch or a walk outside? After sitting inside in an office chair for most of the day, what kind of movement is my body really craving? Is it keen to dance wildly in the living room to nostalgic pop music? Would that feel good? Does my body want to sweat? Does it have energy to burn? Does it want to run as fast as it can for a few minutes, like we did as kids? Does it want to lie flat on the bed and doze off for a while? Does my body want to be stretched out long or flopped upside down? What are each of my limbs asking for? What about my muscles and my skin? What do they need from me today? Okay, so this is the last page that I will show you guys. So this is just piggybacking off of the last one I just read. So you want to set it up like this. Set your journal entry up like this. So you're going to do at the top, and then you'll have bullets. So 3 bullets. So prompt at the top, 3 bullets. Prompt at the top. Okay, so the prompts are: if my body wants to sweat, a few ideas. My body wants to sweat, a few ideas. So you're writing the 3 ideas that fit for you. So this is going to look different for every person. So if my body wants to sweat, I can go sit under the sun. My body wants to sweat, I can go for a walk or I can go for a run. The next one is if my body wants to stretch. So if my body wants to stretch, I'll do chakra yoga. That's an excellent way to not only tap in with a specific chakra, but it's also a good way for me to stretch my body. Do yoga. I enjoy yoga already, so it's just a win-win. The next one is if my body wants to relax. So if my body wants to relax, I'm going to take a spiritual bath. I'm going to take a Cleopatra goddess bath. Depends on what the relaxation is for. Like, if I'm going to see my boo, then I might do an attraction bath. But either way it goes, I'm still relaxing. So it's all about the headspace that you're in. There are several different types of spiritual products, not only products, but like crystals and incense. Like the incense I'm burning now are dragon's blood. But if I wanted to relax, I can burn, although I love the smell of these, I could burn like lavender incense. Those are always good for like relaxing, okay? But I do like this smell as well. It just smells really, really good. It's like dragon's blood sage, but it's just the resin, it's in an incense form. Okay? So if my body wants to play, then I would think of somebody that I like being around that's playful. So it doesn't have to always involve somebody else. But that's the first thing that came to my mind, like my boo. Like I love being around him because his energy is very like childlike. I'm not saying he's childish, but the energy is very just like I always feel giddy. I always feel excitement. I always feel joy. So that's the type of person when I'm feeling like that, I would want to be around, okay? I wouldn't want to be around somebody that's serious as fuck. I wouldn't want to be around somebody that, doesn't know how to make me laugh or somebody that doesn't really know how to be playful, you know? Excuse me. My nose keeps running. I don't know what's going on. It's because it's cold. So that was this book. I hope you guys enjoyed a couple of those notes out of there. And this is the last one I'll say. So this is on the front of the book. It says, how can I do my best with the body and the mind that I've got today? I like that because we always think, well, if I had this body, then I would be like this. Like, we be like, oh, if I get my body done, I know I'm going to work out. Well, if you don't work out before, get your body done, what make you think you're going to automatically be doing it? So it's like, same thing with the mind thing, spirituality. I'll say spirituality. When I'm more spiritual, then maybe I'll focus more on my altar. When I'm more spiritual, I'll learn about the herbs. That's what we're not going to do, okay? So when it comes down to the journey itself, you have to accept this person, okay? I keep saying that, and I'm so glad that my shadow is behind me because it's literally helping me get the message across, okay? I know this video gonna be good. I just know it, like I feel it. YouTube helped me out a lot when I was starting out and I was just trying to identify like what's going on. Like I actually found it's like I stumbled upon the information. So the same way I stumbled upon some information is the same way that I know for a fact one of you guys is gonna stumble upon this information. It's gonna help you. Okay. But what can you do with the body and the mind that you have today? Okay. Start today. Start learning about these things. It doesn't mean you have to set the altar up to tomorrow. It doesn't mean that you have to start working out tomorrow. Sometimes it's just writing down the steps or working through the limiting beliefs about something. So that way you'll understand, okay, well if I don't start with the headspace and the mindset and the body that I'm in now, how can I start? Why would I magically start on down the line? It just doesn't work like that. Okay. So that was notes to self. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. So I'm going to get into the next one, which is the magic of mindset. All right, you guys. So we're back with the magic of mindset, a journal to get unstuck. This is by Joanna Wright. is what the book looks like. So it says, with spellbinding illustrations and imaginative prompts, the magic of mindset invites you on a journey of self-discovery, mindfulness, and personal renewal. Conjure your goals, your dreams, and your true self with this beautifully illustrated, inspirational guided journal. I love this journal. I've recommended it to multiple people. It's just the visuals for me. Like, the visuals are beautiful. So I'm gonna show you the beginning because I think it's so cute. So it says, the power of imagination makes us infinite. Then the next page says, get curious, go deep, feel, explore, let go, create new paths. Okay? So illustrated, you see the young lady, you see the bird, which this will be like her spirit animal, and the bird says, you got this. And she says, thanks, birdie. So she's on a journey. This puts me in the mind of the Fool card. It's just like walking off the cliff, not knowing what your next move is, not knowing what you're going to do, just packing light and going. And it's funny because she has on a backpack. And it's literally like basically what the Fool card has. So, so I like this one. Kind of puts me in the mind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Because it says, where do you feel stuck? So she's just kind of stuck in between and she's frustrated. So it says, list the places in your life where you feel stuck. Use more space if needed. Okay, so that's a good one. Like, where do you feel stuck? Start there. The next page says, you must do the thing you think you cannot do. That's by Eleanor Roosevelt. That's a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. Imagine looking back a year from now on the list of places you feel stuck. You've completely resolved one thing on that list. What are you most proud of transforming? So I like that because it narrows it down to one thing. So it's kind of like they're playing with the construct of time. I like that because when it comes to manifesting, just a little tidbit, if you're trying to manifest something or you're trying to heal something now, you have to speak of it in the past tense as if it's been healed, it's been resolved, and as of today, this is what it is. Even if it isn't, that's just the verbiage. Like, this is a game. Manifesting is a game. It's meant to be fun. You shouldn't take everything serious. Of course, the shadow work is serious, but when it comes to manifesting, you're supposed to have fun. It's supposed to be. You're supposed to have the mindset of a child. You're supposed to have the imagination of a child. You're supposed to dream big. If you're dreaming from just this human perspective, you're always going to settle for less. You're always going to ask for less than what you want or less than you deserve because you don't feel you deserve it. You don't feel that that is a number that is attainable for you. Okay? So you must do the thing that you think you cannot do. Okay? So, like I said, that was the journal prompt for that one. I like this one. It says, write your own ending. Okay, so she's actually sitting here journaling. Looks like she's outside. But it's just like, the world is my canvas and I create my own reality. Okay? It says, if this stuck place in your life was a chapter in a book, how would you like it to end? So map out, as far as your journal, in your journal work, shadow work journal. I'm sorry, y'all, I can't talk. In your shadow work journal, literally write out a chapter. It could be chapter 1, it could be chapter 15. Write it out. But how would you like it to end? How would the dream ending be for you? Okay? Do you get married? Do you go across the country to build a house? Do you travel the world? Do you start the restaurant? Do you start the business? What's the outcome? What is the outcome? Matter of fact, what's the name of the chapter? What's the name of the book? Okay? These are things that you want to ask yourself. And a lot of the times it's funny because Spirit has a funny way of giving messages. So I guarantee you something I just said was specific for somebody. like whether it be the restaurant thing or whatever. So let's say for instance you want to start a restaurant, but you're stuck on the fact I don't have a name. This is how you incorporate your spiritual journey into this. Okay. So what you can do is you can just ask your higher self, you can ask your spirit team, you can ask God, it's up to you. What is the name of my business? This is exactly what I did for my business. Okay. And it came to me like, I don't know how long, it was probably like 4 days after I said Master Manifestor. It just came like, I was like, what the hell? Like that came out of nowhere. But come on now. You got to write your own motherfucking story. You can't let nobody else do it for you because it's not going to be what you want anyways. So why not write it for yourself where you're fully satisfied? If you're not fully satisfied, you always have the power and the energy to change the flow of it. You know, when you have your own shit, you can always change it up. You can always change up your logo and your menu. You can always change up the small things. Okay, so the small things are not as important. It's just getting in a space to where you can take the first step. So like I said, just asking, what's the name of my business? Spirit, what should I name my business? Just incorporating them into the journey, into your journey, it goes a long way. It shows them that you do care and you do listen, especially with our ancestors, the people that paved the way for us, the people that came before us who didn't have the same opportunities, but still did what needed to be done. Those people, you know, the ones who worked hard in their lifetime to create a better life for their future generations. Those are the ones that are in your frequency that are wanting to help and assist you. Okay. So if you incorporate them and you're honoring them and letting them know, like, I want your opinion. It's not like you have to do things the way that they did. But if you invite them to walk with you, we're having another conversation. Like you're making a different type of money. You're um you're on another frequency now, okay? Because the energy that spirit brings is different from a human like energy, okay? So I'll leave it there. I have said I wasn't gonna make this video too long. So I'm gonna read a couple more. I'm gonna just randomly pick a page. Okay, this one says, how can you nurture and care for yourself through this mindset transformation process? How can you nurture and care for yourself through this mindset transformation process? So I'll say through this shadow work process. How can you nurture and care for yourself? I keep saying, I've said it multiple times. Spiritual baths. Spiritual baths literally will purify you, especially like the Florida water spiritual bath that I create. Everybody knows the properties of Florida water, and if you don't, look it up. Florida water is good for so many things, but it's been used throughout the 1900s. It's a cologne, but the old school people would like put it in their hair, put it in their kids' hair, and things like that for protection. Okay, so Florida water, you can use it in a spiritual bath. You can use it as like a cleanser, just to like I use it in my readings. You know, I just put it on my hands, rub it on. But there's several different things that you can use it for. Okay, so with the Florida Water Spiritual Bath, of course, I use all natural products. Like I use oatmeal, goat milk, and other things. I won't tell my entire recipe, of course not. But then I use specific herbs. Okay, so herbs that are good for like purification, protecting protecting the user from negative and low vibrational entities. Um, it's just gonna rid you of any toxic energy in your frequency. So it could be you'd be going through like something with your body, like you could be, let's say for instance, sorry, I had dozed off in the space, but let's say you're healing, like your body is actually healing, so you're healing from something. A spiritual bath would be perfect because it's cleansing the energy of it. Okay, it's cleansing the chakras, it's balancing the chakras, so that's going to help the body heal faster. Okay, so that's what I will say about that. That's what you can do to care for yourself, spiritual baths, learning to forgive yourself, learning that the things that happened in the past is not your fault. It had to happen so that you can become who you are. Okay. So I'm gonna read one more for you guys, and then I'm gonna wrap this video up because I know it's super long at this point. It's probably like an hour long. Um, this says, "Care for yourself like the magical creature you are." This is so cute. Got the little unicorn. So the unicorn says, "Truth." Interesting, and it's like out in the wilderness. So I think that's very significant. The fact that most of these prompts are done outside, and a lot of y'all be asking me, "Well, do I have to do this outside?" Yeah, probably. Like, it's like, how do you expect to do a release inside? You have none of the windows open. You're just sitting in the same stagnant, dirty room. What do you think is gonna happen? Like, don't get me wrong. Work with what you got. Do what you need to do. But if you know for a fact you can go outside, you just being lazy. How do you think this spiritual journey is gonna go? So it's like the very first prompt at the beginning. It says something like, I can't remember what it said, but it's just basically like taking this shit serious. Like understanding that what you put into it is what you're gonna get. Okay. So nobody's coming to save you. You have to save yourself. You have to do it for yourself. This says planting new beliefs. I love that. Literally learning to unlearn some shit. Okay. Unlearn that slave mentality. Unlearn that mentality that has you stuck in low vibrational. And it's just like, it's a lot of y'all out there that have spiritual gifts, but your limiting beliefs are working. Your limiting beliefs, your religious beliefs are literally working against what is within you, okay? Because this shit is within you, okay? Some try, others do, okay? You can always tell when somebody is appropriating. You can always tell when somebody knows and when somebody's tapped into spirit, okay? So, the best advice I have for newbies coming on a spiritual journey, be careful who you trust, be careful who you allow to teach you things. If you can find you a mentor that you can trust and that is knowledgeable about what they're talking about and they resonate with your energy, go for it. Because good mentors are hard to come by. Um, They really are. People who have actually done their shadow work and have actually healed themselves. Okay, so if you're finding people on the internet and things like that, just make sure their energy checks out with the energy that you're aiming for, the energy that resonates with your energy. Okay, I'm not saying you have to come to me, but I am saying that you're going to be doing a lot of studying and research. I'm not the only person you're probably going to be watching. Okay, so just be sure that when you're adapting these principles and these new beliefs on this spiritual journey, you're not thinking from a Christianity mindset. You're not thinking with all these restrictions and limitations. No, you can't think, okay, just because I learned this, I'm a part of this now. Or just because she's teaching about hoodoo, or just because she's talking about hoodoo, I do hoodoo now. No, you don't. No, you don't. Like, no, that's not how this works. So you may like what I'm teaching about, but there are certain things that need to be done before you can say that you're a practitioner of a specific ATR or a spiritual practice. Okay. So there are things like you have to be tapped in with your ancestors and you have to, like, it's just certain things. Okay. Certain things that have to take place first. So from like 8 months to a year, all you need to do is just unlearn, release, um, come out of these limiting beliefs, plant new beliefs, figure out what serves you and what doesn't. Because a lot of y'all beliefs don't serve you. You just practice or do that because you grew up like that. Or because you was taught that everything else is evil outside of this one religion, everything else is evil. That's bullshit. If you believe that shit, then I just truly feel like that's on you. But at our big grown ages, we have to understand what's real and what's fake. For some people, it may be real. Certain things and practices may be real, but for others, what I believe and what I practice is real in my world, in my reality. So the same way different cultures they have different practices and religions, it's for a reason because their ancestors practiced this. Okay, versus what African Americans see, we have a very tricky place with when it comes to spirituality and religion because our practices were taken from us. Okay, we were told that our practices were evil after we were taken from where we were, and our practices were taken. So we had to learn how to practice in hiding. We had to learn how to um camouflage our I don't want to say our gods, but we had to learn to camouflage in our spirits in Christianity, okay, in Catholicism, okay. There are several different spiritual routes, but I will say this: don't let people demonize what they don't know. It's something that ain't even for them. Don't let them demonize it because that might be your path, and that could just be another person keeping you off of your path. So you have to always follow your heart. You have to always follow your intuition. Um, and you have to really tap in with your positive spirit team because they'll never fail you. They're going to always tell you when somebody's right and when somebody's not right. Okay? They're going to let you know everything you need to know. Okay? So thank you guys for watching. Um, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on those post notifications. Follow me on my Instagram. Follow me on my TikTok. I had so much fun making this video. It felt really good to be back in front of the camera and talking to you guys and just sharing my love and sharing my knowledge with you guys. Um, Let me know in the comments what resonated, anything that you learned. Let me know if you guys are going to go and get these books. But they came from Five and Below. And if you can't find them on there, then I'm almost certain they're on Amazon because I've had a couple of my mentees purchase these books. So, yes, the magic of mindset, notes to self, and today I affirm. Okay? So this is Judy the Master Manifester, and I am out.